All right, we are back, y'all. We are back. With part three. Is it part three? Yeah, part three. Thresh. One of those thresh of Helltaker second circle. So we finished all the dates. We finished all that. So now we're doing something from what I remember from last time. We're doing something with Beelzebub, and yeah, we're gonna see what that is. And we're gonna see how we're gonna do it. So without further ado, as this music is loud as hell in my ear, we're gonna hop right back into this hell, man. So why is the music still playing? Alright. So your path this time takes you upwards. Uncountable spiraling staircases, impossibly sloped hallways, and an occasional convenient ladder becoming achingly familiar sights as you travel upwards what seems like an eternity. Y'all know, just to take it away, from y'all real quick, just to have a quick takeaway from y'all real quick. Oh, where we at? Eventually the two of you emerge into open, for want of a better word, air. Into open air. To your right, the endless expanse of Beelzebub's fortress stretches ever upwards, disappearing out of the sight in the uniform's blackness that dominates the environment. Stretched out before you is an expanse of the same smooth-formed obsidian that makes up everything in the castle. Here is our canvas, and I suppose we'll be needing some paint as well. Stand behind me, please. Beelzebub frowns in concentration, extending a clawed hand into an empty space. Threads of darkness spun from the very fabric of the void became the what does that say? Colse in front of her. Beelzebub clenches her fist, and then the threads become a stream, then a river, then a deluge. The inky darkness thunders down upon the ramparts, freely flowing off the bare edge of the platform and into an undisconcerting chasm below. Oh, what the fuck? That look like coal. That look like some coal from Minecraft, bruh. Eventually, the stream dissipates, leaving behind a small mountain of rubble. Beelzebub flicks her wrist, and with an enormous shard of rock levitates towards the two of you. The boulder, 6 or 7 diameter, halts before you, floats gently in the midair. This game came out years before that, bro, and now, like, you know what? We're not gonna. Yeah. Nah, 6-7 for real, bro. 6-7 for real, bro. This rock is a constellated matter distilled from the void itself. It responds favorably to mental suggestion and has proven to be more than adequate, if disappointingly monochromatic building material for my castle. So tell me, what shall we build with it? Well, we appear to be on a ramper, so why don't we make like a serrated walls at a certain panache. I can read, y'all. I can read. Panache to any fortress. Besides that bare edge is rather disconcerting. Trust me, you don't want to fall into the primal ordeal abyss unless an entity is falling into pitch darkness. Sounds fun to you? Only slightly less than my average everyday responsibilities. Beelzebub chuckles. Stepping beside you, she drapes her arms over your shoulder, leaning into you as she instructs you in the way of magic. Oh, hold on. We already got a possible thumbnail. Focus. Picture in your mind what form you wish the rock to take. Let it flow into the place alongside its brethren. Alright, let me see it. Hide that. And I'm gonna hide my face. That's a potential thumbnail. Potentially. There could be some good ones. If y'all seen the last video, Judgment won it. What I did, I spun the wheel, and Judgment landed on that hoe. So yeah, that's why Judgment is the thumbnail for the last video. With an almighty rushing swoosh, The obsidian boulder violently hurtles off the rampart and is swallowed up by the cloying darkness surrounding the castle. Though you listen for a moment, no sound of the rock impacting ground reaches your ears. You turn back to Beelzebub, who passes her handkerchief across a slightly sweaty brow. Oh, why don't you try that again? A little gentler this time. I'm far too old to be flinging rocks around like that willy-nilly. Sorry, I'll try again. Bro, you're old, bro. Bro, it doesn't matter. Like, you can age for real, bro. Damn, Beelzebub, acting like you can age and shit. This time around, you're a bit more careful with your mind's eye. Rather than giving the rock directional command, you imagine it moving into places in space. With a little practice, you realize you can also influence the shape of the rock, standing down rough edges and dividing the boulder into more manageable pieces. Carefully, you place the first bit of stonework onto the edge of the rampart. Well done! Well done! I have a couple of critiques about your technique, but that was very good for a second attempt. With Beelzebub giving advice, you are eventually able to refine your technique. Telekinetically, oh god, what did I just knock down? You know what, that's okay. Telekinetically shaping slabs of rock before placing them into a checkered wall of the parapet. The work, though entirely mental, is more strenuous than you would have thought. And soon enough, you finding yourself wishing for a respite. As if sensing your desires, Walter emerges from the darkness, bearing a flawless china teapot and matching cups upon a glossy black platter. Tea for sir. Tea for sir and milady. Ah, perfect timing. Perfect timing as always, I see. Oh, you flatter me, milady. Might I inquire as to how the renovations are proceeding? Splendidly. Taker has provided surprisingly knowledgeable with regards to castle architect. I kept telling you, it's really just a hobby. This parapet might not even be stable. I'd advise against... Poppycock, I'm sure you're doing an excellent job. Besides, this castle is held together by my force of will, and I hardly think that's going anywhere after all these years. Okay, I feel you. I see you, Beelzebub. You feel? I see you. She doing her thing. You feel me? She doing her thing. Her chest out, no. Anyways, sitting down on the freshly crenellated wall, the two of you take tea. Waiting to remove the dishes when you are done, Walter occupies himself examining the fresh stonework with a small brass magnifying glass. The two of you drink your tea, glad of a reprieve from your labor. Presently, a question springs to your mind. Ask about how Walter got the tea. Ask about why Beelzebub's building the castle. Let's ask why she's building the castle. The void is exactly crowded. Why go to all the trouble of building a fortress? Tell me, Taker, who am I? Beelzebub? And? Archifiend of lies? And? You struggle to remember the many titles Beelzebub seems to adore anointing herself with. The Queen Crimson, the Scarlet Sovereign, the Rose Regent. You're just making them up now. Do go on though, I haven't had someone sing my virtues in ages. That's it, I'm out of titles. Illuminate me. Beelzebub takes a lengthy draft of her tea before responding. During my time in hell, I was among the mightiest demons, embodying one of the worst sins of mankind. I was known as Beelzebub the Envious. Do you know the difference between envy and greed, mortal? One wants money, the other status. Close, but not exactly correct. Greed is an all-consuming hunger for the treasure of the world, and rarely, if ever, cares about what it has acquired in its relentless short-sighted quest for more. Envy is far more disconcerting in its pursuit and acquisition. Envy cannot exist without a partner to play against, and once upon a time, I played against the 4 greatest demons in hell. That was a long time ago, of course, but I still remember the Grand Cathedral of Hell, opulent and imperial. Truly a symbol of one ingenuity and power, my fault. There was nothing more I coveted in all of hell than to sit upon one of the ebony's thrones as regent of the damned. Beelzebub stares into the distance, swirling the remaining tea around in her cup. This was back when Lucy and I were still on speaking terms, before that damnable high prosecutor threw me in here. But back to the topic at hand. Having no party or extravagance in here, I've taken it upon myself to construct a castle far exceeding my own memory of the cathedral of hell. If I've nothing but eternity to spend here, then I shall spend it in building a monument to my greatness to dwarf any Lucy's subjects could build up for her. I see. I'm honored that you trust me enough to help me with building it. She nods silently with a wistful expression. You are hesitant to continue the conversation, instead choosing to let the silence linger. Okay. Reinvigorated by the tea and conversation, the two of you make record time, arranging the rest of the rock. Soon enough, the crenellated wall is near complete. With a final exertion of will, the last block of obsidian material slides into place, completing the work upon the castle's rampart. Beelzebub wipes her brow with a handkerchief as she does that so well. Phew! I'm not used to that much heavy lifting, and you tell me mortals built these without the aid of magic? Well, we had a lot of time on our hands when we weren't dying in the thousands to plagues, that is. Before you ask, I'm not apologizing for those. Humanity had it coming. You're not quite sure if she's joking or not, and hide your uncertainty by walking over to examine your work. Remarkable. And this is how you built this entire place? Or palace? Give or take, the tentacles took considerably more effort to tame than the rock itself, but I think I'll be making headway with them in another millennia or so. It must have taken an eternity. How long have you been here, Beel? Beelzebub, Beelzebub. Time flows differently here, slower than it does in your world, or hell for that matter. I've stopped counting over the years, but I expected it to be at least 6 centuries in your time. Her voice becomes softer as her gaze becomes distant. Oh, hold on. But in terms of time passing here, I think you're the first living being I've seen in at least 500,000 years. You turn your back to the black stone rampart, leaning against it as you ask a question that's been nagging at you since you first stepped foot in the abyss. Beel, you have to tell me, what on earth did you do to get yourself? A crack of stone made all the louder by the absence of ambient sound permeating the abyss echoes across the rampart. What the fuck is this? Almost immediately, you find yourself pitching backwards, the large stone which you brace yourself crumbling away into the black of nothingness beneath. Oh boy, what's going on here? Although you windmill your arms, you're unable to right yourself in time and topple off the edge of the built castle. Reaching up, you're just barely able to grab the edge of the battlement, your fingers scraping for purchase against stone once packed solidly together. Taker! Hold on, I'm coming for you! Beelzebub leaps for your hand, but before she can cross the distance between you, your grip gives out and you plummet head over heels into the inky blackness of the void. Air rushes past you, or perhaps you rush past it as you fall. You narrowly miss caving your head in on a rocky, outcrowded jutting from the castle wall. Flailing around, you try to catch onto anything to slow your dive, but grabbing at the walls of Beelzebub's castle only nets you a hand scraped raw by the rough-hewn slabs of the black fortress. Far above you, a crimson light blazes, and an immense crack of displaced air echoes in the dimness. As you continue to fall, you can barely make out something huge and ungainably falling towards you at an alarming speed. A blast of fetid air and the deafening drone heralds your rescue. You feel massive chiton-planted fingers close around your midsection, gradually halting your descent, knowing full well what you'll see. You look up at your rescuer. A massive fly, bloated and warped by demonic influence, carries you aloft, churning the air with time-tattered wings, meeting your gaze with one of its multi-factored eyes. The creature splits its dripping mandibles into a rough approximation of a smile. Yuck. Imagine looking at Beelzebub and be like, oh goddamn. Be like, you ugly as hell. Beelzebub's not ugly, bro. She's ugly when she turns into a bug, though. It speaks, its voice compromised of 1,000 buzzing insects. Caught you! As the two of you circle around the ramparts, you notice Beelzebub is breathing heavily, her wings barely able to keep the two of you suspended. As her wings beat slower and slower, the angle of descent towards the parapet shifts from the concerning to alarming. Hold on to something. This landing will be tough. You wind your hand into the mane of the snowy hair surrounding Beelzebub's neck and hold on for dear life as she awkwardly crashes down onto the parapet. First of all, I would just feel weird because she's like in her bug form or whatever, her bug form, bug form. That shit will be weird as hell to grab on, bruh. Dead ass. I don't think I'll feel weird grabbing onto that shit. All right. Ooh, that shit sound like her. The great mass of her fly forms plows up a furrow in the stone, but you are, for the most part, unharmed. Thank goodness. Thank you, Beelzebub. As you slide off the groaning Beelzebub, the great fly glows scarlet. The aged flesh twists and buckles, compacting it on itself until it resolves back into the form of the white-haired demon. Beelzebub, Beelzebub coughs once and then opens her eyes. Ooh, let's not do that again, huh? I prefer to keep my demonic visage intact, thank you very much. As you help her to your feet, you can't help but sedate your curiosity. Visage? Do you mean the fly form? Beelzebub nods shakily as she gets to her feet. The visage phenomenon occurs when the raw power of a demon exceeds the capacity of their original body. This causes a chain reaction within the body of the demon in question, causing them to violently shift into forms better suited to their newfound strength. While we can with time learn to return to our original forms, our horde remained white, forever a mark of our status and power. Beelzebub brushes her hair back, highlighting her own ivory horns. While we are at our strongest when we take these forms, we are also at our most vulnerable. I'm gonna say visage. In our own power incarnate. You know what? No, I'm not about to search that up right now. Visage in our power incarnate. And should it take damage, we would permanently lose a portion of that power. Give me an example. Very well. Losing a finger or even an arm of my current form would only be an inconvenience, and one quickly remedied at that. But if the same injury were to be inflicted upon my visage, or visage, I'm gonna say visage. Visage? I feel like it just seems like visage. Visage, like that don't sound right, bro. My powers would be appropriately crippled until I was able to return the missing piece. What if your visage was destroyed? What would happen then? I suppose I'd be reduced to an almost human status. Still immortal, of course, but fully unable to work all the most basic of magic. Beelzebub gives you a quizzical look. You're awfully full of questions for someone who almost died a moment ago. I've had too many close shaves to be troubled. I knew I was in good hands. Oh, you flatter me. Yes, but unfortunately you can't distract me. Distract you? Why, whatever do you mean? That wall crumbling was too much of a coincidence. I think we both know that it broke to serve a purpose, Bill. You broke it trying to dodge my original question. Beelzebub turns to you, a trace of fatigue gone. She's like this. She's like, bitch, how you know? Yeah, cause I do know, bruh. Yeah, you ain't slick. You think that was a little too convenient, bruh? A little too convenient. A little too convenient. A little too convenient, bruh. Not gonna lie to you. A little too convenient. Oh, was I now? And what question might that be? Beelzebub, why were you exiled here? Really? Beelzebub visibly deflates and lets out a sigh before answering. I'll cut you a deal, Taker. If you want that particular piece of knowledge from me, you'll have to give me something of equal value of exchange. Bitch, this ain't Full Metal. You act like this Full Metal. If you don't just tell me what happened, bruh. You act like, bro. Come on, bruh. Let's be dead ass now. Let's be dead ass. Knowledge is a power, and I'm not about to let you walk away with this much of it without paying some kind of toll. And what would you like to know? I want to know if there's a way to escape, Taker. If somewhere, somehow, a way for me to escape this dimension exists. Or exist, right? This dimension exits. Exits? English. I don't know. I know you don't know. But I know that you live with someone who does. The person who ordered me to put in this pit to begin with. You want an answer to your question? First, you'll find me an answer to mine. Do we have a deal? Is that really an equal exchange, bro? I just want to know how you got in here, bro. That's all I wanted to know. Damn, Taker, you just gonna take it like that, bro? Yo, this man Taker need to grow a backbone, bro. I get it, they're demons that could kill him at any time, but like, come on, bro. Grow some backbone. Don't grow some backbones. But he cares about Taker cares about all of them, which is cool. He cares about all of them. Yes, I'll do my best to find you your peace of mind. And I'll grant you yours in exchange. Well, time's ticking gone. Time's ticking gone, Taker. You ought to return to your own dimension before anyone notices you're gone. Damn. And we back just like that. Making a complex gesture, Beelzebub conjures the one-way portal around you, and your vision is once more obstructed by a purple smoke. When the smoke resides, you find yourself in total darkness. Worse still, you seem to be enclosed inside a very small space with barely enough room to move your arms. You're beginning to worry when the door to your closet gives way, spilling you and your sock collection across the floor in your room. Rubbing your head, you look around at the room, eyes settling on a piece of parchment pinned to your door. Picking it up, you immediately recognize Lucifer's erudite, precise handwriting. Taker, I found myself rather overwhelmed with work at late, and have decided to spend some time working through my backlog. It's unlikely I'll have time to engage in any sort of prenuptial activities over the next couple of days. That being said, the others seem to be enjoying themselves, so keep up the good work. Bye, Lucifer. So she's gone? Well, okay. You make your way downstairs, Lucifer's choice of words weighing slightly on your mind. Keep up the good work? I wonder if she means... Oh, we back? Let's go. Second dates. Second dates. Second dates. Second dates. I think we might do two. I don't want to make this hoe too long. I think we'll save Lucifer for last. But I don't want to make this too long. Too long. I know probably the whole thing revolves around Lucifer and everything. So we'll save Lucifer for last. Alright, let me save this. Let me save this hoe again. Alright. So then I think we can finally do with the second. I think these are the second dates officially. So let's do it. We're gonna go with my favorite one, my favorite girl, my girl, Justice. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I think the first time, from what I remember, we was like working out. Because Justice like working out. True to your word, you and Justice start hitting the gym on a regular basis. That first CG though, when Justice was lifting the weights, that shit had me. That shit had me. That shit had me. That shit had me going crazy. Anyways. Though grueling at times, the workouts leave you feeling better than ever. I've been working out too, for real, for real. You feel me? I'm trying again. I've said this before. You know, I've been trying to get back. You know, slim down a little bit. You feel me? I've been trying to slim down a little bit. Trim down a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. With a newfound spring in your step, you decide that it's time to complete some of the more millennial household errands that you have been putting off until now. Starting with some of the boxes that are laying around in Bodhi's closet. You begin carting your old junk out of the car for a donation. As you are carrying a particularly cumbersome box, one filled to the brim with your old model sets and paints, you run into Justice in the living room. Literally, you run into Justice in the living room. Whoa there, Chief! I'm blind here. You can't just be bumping into me like that. Oh God. You collide with the demoness as you are coming through the doorway. Unsurprisingly, Justice doesn't budge because she is strong as hell. You clatter to the ground in an amazing display of stooge-like physical comedy. As if that wasn't enough, the wither tape holding the box together gives way and its contents spill out to the floor. Sorry, Taker, I didn't hear you coming. It's alright. Here, let me help you clean up. Oh, that isn't necessary. Nonsense, I'm happy to help. Before you can protest any further, Justice is already feeling around the floor on her feeling on the floor on her. Feeling on the floor on her, placed her hand on one of the pieces that had escaped the box. Aha! Oh, that's funny, bro. That's funny. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hold on. That's a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one. Like I said, either this or the tape just do a petite stream. What are we talking about? Aha! Oh, what's this? It's nothing. Doesn't feel like nothing. You watch with a mix of horror and embarrassment as Justice ponders over the object in her hands. Now, what do we have here? A toy of some sort? You know, this reminds me a lot of the nights that were all over the place when I was young. I remember children who would run around with these little wooden replicas of the warriors they favored the most. Could this be one of your old toys from when you were a kid? Not exactly. Oh? It's a model. A model? Yeah, collecting them was an old hobby of mine. What do you do with them after you collect them? Well, you're supposed to paint them. After that, it depends on the person, I suppose. Some people just keep them around to look at. Other people like to use them in games. I see. And what would you do with them? And what would you do with them? Well, I wanted to paint them and put them up for display, but... You look sheepishly at the figure that Justice has in her hands. Color choice aside, the paint job itself is atrocious. The paint is gobbled on so thickly that many of the model's more intricate details have been lost. Beyond that, the shading is inconsistent. The freehand work looks like a child's crayon drawing, and there is still evidence of glue at the joints where the excess was not wiped away properly. But what? I never got the hang of it. Painting was never my strong suit. What are you gonna do with them now? I'm not sure. They've just been sitting in the boxes, cluttering up Monice's closet since I got back from hell. I figure it's time to just get rid of them. Maybe someone who's better at painting could strip the color and do them up properly. With a sigh, you begin gathering up the figures that lay scattered over the living room floor. Nah, Taker, don't do that, bro. Come on, bro. Believe in your craft, nigga. My boy Taker gotta believe in his craft, bro. Expecting Justice to pitch in and help right away, you are surprised when the demon does not move. Justice? Looking up, you are met with a surprising sight. Justice is frowning. You don't like painting anymore? No, I do, it's just... Then why are you getting rid of this stuff? Well, I haven't touched it in a long time, so all it's doing is taking up space. Why don't you just move it all to your room then? I could do that, I suppose, but... But what? I just really don't think I'm cut out for the painting, Justice. Bitch! Bitch! I gotta be honest with you, Taker. It makes me sad to think about you giving up on something you once enjoyed. That's real. You say you weren't good at painting, so what? Is there a competition? No. Do you have to be the best painter out there? No, I suppose not. Then answer me this, honestly. Even though the painting jobs weren't great, you still enjoyed painting, didn't you? I did. Then who cares? Pardon? Look, I know that it feels good to be good at something. Of course, you know, everybody wants to be good, feels good to feel good at something. It's still kind of weird to see a piece of your mouth missing, but you know, nonetheless, it's still good, bro. You feel me? This is custom made sprites and shit, bro. It's custom made. Feel me? How all this custom made, bro? Custom made. You feel me? All this custom made. All of this. My camera was off the whole time. Nobody told me. My bad. My bad, bro. But this is a hobby, man. You're not entering them in any competitions and you aren't selling them for profit. So who cares if you're good or not? All that matters is you and your enjoyment you get out of the deal, right? Okay. At the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you what to do here. If you really want to get rid of this stuff, go for it. I won't stop you. But if you ask me, I don't think you really want to close the door on this hobby. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you enjoyed the hell out of painting these things. And the only reason you're quitting is because there's this little voice in your head that's needling you and saying that you have to be good at something for it to be worthwhile. Well, I say screw that. That's hey. She's spitting, bro. She is spitting, bro. Like, you don't have to be, bro. You don't have to be good at a game. You don't have to be good at something to enjoy it, bro. You don't have to be good at something to enjoy it, bro. That's real, bro. That's real. Being good at a hobby is secondary. Happiness is what really counts. You find yourself looking down at the figure resting in your palm. It's true. The paint job is horrendous, but nevertheless, you recall the excitement you felt when you brought it home and took it out the box. You remember staring wide-eyed at the pieces laid out before you, daydreaming of all the colors you wanted to use. It took you all afternoon just to paint that one figure. An afternoon well spent. You're right. I do miss this hobby, and I don't really want to get rid of all this stuff. Then don't. Here, let me help you clean this all up, and then we can set it all up in your room, yeah? Maybe you can describe to me just how you've painted some of these little dudes. You nod and set to work, cleaning up the figures off the living room. With Justice's help, it doesn't take you long at all, and soon the two of you are sitting side by side on your bed, with the box's contents laid out before you. Grinning from ear to ear, Justice has the figure of a knight in her hand, and is feeling it over with her fingertips. And what about this one? It's red. Just red? Yeah? Well, what kind of red? Is it a deep blood red or a bright crimson? Or maybe it's close to a soft rose? No, it's not like that. It's red? Oh! Just red? No, there's also some yellow for the lines on his shield. I see. And how about this one? That's an elf sort of character. I painted her robes green. As you watch Justice play with the figure in her hands, a thought occurs to you. Say, Justice. I don't want to sound rude, but how can you picture what colors? How can you picture what colors are what? I wasn't always blind, you know. You were? No, when I was much younger, I could see. Oh, what happened? I don't want to tell that story right now. That's a long story, Taker. You see. Perhaps one for another day. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. Don't worry about it, Chief. If it were up to me, I'd have no problem telling you all about it. But since there are others in this house that are involved in that story, I don't want to out their past without their consent, you know? I understand. Without missing a beat, Justice reaches for another figure. Global figure? What color is this one? Actually, I haven't painted that one yet. Really? Yeah. I'd be meaning to get around to it, but I've been a little sidetracked lately. Well, what are you waiting for now? You got the paints and the brushes. Now is as good as the time to slap a coat on this bad boy. I suppose you're right. Let's see here. You rummage around in the box for your paints. However much to your dismay, you find them in the bad sorts. Many of the hues have leaked out due to being improperly closed, while others have gone bad outright. Damn. What is it? My paints are bad. That's a bummer. Looks like I didn't close them properly. I'll have to restock at some point. Where do you usually get your paints? There's a little hobby shop in town. They've got a big wall of paints, so I shouldn't have a problem loading up on new colors. Can I come with you? You really want to? Of course! We can browse through some of their models too, right? I should expand my collection, shouldn't I? That's what I like to hear. So it's a date, right? Yeah, it's a date. Alright, so the last one, I want to save it either between Judgment or Modius, because those are like my other two favorites besides Justice. So here's how we're gonna do it, bro. Here's how we're gonna do this, bro. Here's how we're gonna do it like this. This is how we're gonna do it. Got Judgment and Modius, whoever it lands on, that's who we're gonna do, and we're gonna save the other one for next time. So we're gonna spin this wheel. I'm not gonna look. And who are we gonna do? I hear the clapping. We're gonna do Judgment. Alright, we're gonna do Judgment. Let's do it. Let's do it. Though it has been a while since you visited the Butterfly Conservatory with Judgment, that day remains at the forefront of your thoughts. While you originally intended to use it as only a way to engage with the High Prosecutor on one of her apparent interests, you feel yourself growing similarly intrigued by the fluttering creatures. Is my shit? Hold on, is the shit? Oh, I see. I know why. It's because of this shit. Close that shit down. This curiosity of yours drives you to pursue the literature that was handed out after the tour. According to the pamphlet, it is possible to donate butterfly snacks, tubs of sliced up fruit, to the conservatory as a way of helping out and getting involved. Thinking this is the perfect way to satisfy your interest, you make your way to the kitchen. However, on the way, you pass Judgment's door. You pass by Judgment's shut door. Looking at it reminds you of how that day ended. You lament that the fact that you've seen precious little of her since then. Should I try knocking on her door again? Couldn't hurt to try, come on. Though hesitant, you decide to try one last time to get her attention. As you knock, you strain your ears to listen for signs of movement inside. Judgment? You hear nothing. I was just going to do some work in the kitchen, and I was wondering if you would like to help out. Judgment? No response. Frowning, you return to the kitchen. Yeah, I seen that come in. Once there, you dig out a knife, cutting board, and every bit of fruit you have stashed away in the pantry. Then, after donning your apron, you set at work. Hold on. Going on here. Then after donning your apron, you set to work slicing everything up into small cubes. As you are working, you hear someone entering the kitchen at your back. Turning, you are surprised to see none other than Judgment standing in the doorway. Oh, hey there, Judgment. The demon stares back at you, wide-eyed, blushing. Hey, hey, Taker. I was just looking for a snack. With a nod, you return your attention to the task at hand. Though you can hear Judgment rummaging around in the pantry behind you, you can feel her gaze burning a hole at your back. Soon enough, the clattering stops, and Judgment steps up next to you to peer around your shoulder. What are you doing? Making fruit medleys. What for? Butterfly snacks. Oh, I see. Can I help? You see how I'm making her voice more vulnerable compared to the last episode where it was like, do this, that, I'm trying to give it more personality. Feel me? Oh no, Judgment kind of thick. Anyways, wordlessly, you hand Judgment an apron and a knife before slapping down the cutting board next to you and stepping aside to give the demoness room to work. Judgment approaches the countertop and removes her gauntlets. Then the two of you set to work chopping up fruit and dividing it up into dozens of plastic containers. Oh, this is nice. I like this one. Although I will say, Judgment, you was the last thumbnail for the last episode. 'Cause I can't put you twice. That's just there's not you feel me? You feel me? I feel like I can't put you twice. As much as I would like to, I can't put you twice. These are crazy aprons though, I'm not gonna lie. But it just fits with the game. Soon the tapping of your knives against the cutting board echoes through the kitchen. And amidst this quiet rhythm, you notice a faint smile dancing across Judgment's lips. Smiling in turn, you continue your task. Have you given any more thought to our predicament? Predicament? What are you referring to, mortal? The butterflies. Should we fortify our home against the coming invasion? Perhaps. Or perhaps we should explore other avenues, such as diplomacy. Diplomacy. Yes, if we can placate the beast with substance, we can avoid any unnecessary bloodshed. I see. I see. Is that where you? Is that what would you? What would you prefer? I would. Hmm. As would I. Judgment grins and dumps another load of fruit into the plastic containers. As you prepare to do the same, you hear something that catches you by surprise. Judgment has begun to hum. The sound of her voice fills the room, and you find yourself looking at the demoness in shock. Judgment, all of a sudden, the scent of smoke stings your nose. The hell is going on in here? I thought I caught a whiff of something sweet coming from the kitchen, and so I got hungry. But it's just you nerds. Hey, Zdrada, don't worry. I'll get started on dinner after I'm done here. Good. What are you doing anyways? I went to make fruit medleys to donate to the Butterfly Conservatory, and Judgment here offered to help. The demon puts her hands over her mouth and makes a gagging noise. Ugh, forget I asked. Though I guess I shouldn't be surprised that you do something like this, Taker. I am, however, a little shocked at you, Judgment. Who would have known that the High Prosecutor of Hell would do something so sickeningly nice? Next thing I know, you'll be letting sinners slide for a few decades with an IOU, internal damnation. Oh wait, that already happened, didn't it? Looks like somebody's losing their edge. Before you can protest, the Zdrada breaks out in a cackle. Spewing smoke with each hearty gulp, the demoness swipes a box of crackers off the counter and departs, leaving you and Judgment alone in the kitchen once more. Silence descends upon you, yet the ringing of Zdrada's laughter still echoes in your ear. Jeez, what's her problem? Shaking your head, you look over at Judgment. The demoness is facing the counter with her hands gripping the sides of her cutting board, hard enough to turn her knuckles white. At first, you think that this is a display of anger, but the slight glimmer of tears in the corner of her eyes causes you to think otherwise. Judgment? Fool. I'm sorry? May I take my leave now? Yeah, I can take it from here. With that, Judgment removes her apron, seizes her gauntlets, and scurries out of the kitchen. A moment later, you hear her bedroom door slam shut. Left to yourself once again, you let out a long sigh before finishing up with your task. Thanks to Judgment's help, there isn't much left to do. It only takes you a few minutes to slice up the last few pieces of fruit and divide that up into medleys. Then you close up the containers, wash off the knife, and load everything up into a couple of boxes for transport. As you are carrying these boxes out to the car, Justice approaches you. Hey, Chief, when's dinner? Oh, hey, Justice. I'll get started on it as soon as I get back. Nice, I'm starving. Where are you heading off to? I'm gonna take these fruit medleys to the Butterfly Conservatory. You made them yourself? No, Judgment helped out quite a bit. Judgment? That's a surprise. So Zdrada said the same thing. Said something similar. Zdrada saw? That's no good. What do you mean? If I can be frank, that woman talks out of her ass so much, it's probably become a second mouth at this point. I'm guessing she said something that made Judgment leave, didn't she? Yeah, actually she did. Is Judgment okay? I wonder about that myself sometimes. But you know, I just like working out and getting fit. Is there something I should know? I'd say... Let me begin by saying that Judgment and I have been friends for a very long time, Taker. Heck, I knew her back when I was the High Prosecutor. So there's a lot of history. There's a lot of history there, and it can get a little messy. But if it's you, perhaps I can let you in on a few things. If it'll help me understand Judgment more, I'm all ears. That's what I like to hear. Alright. First, let me start by saying that Judgment wasn't always the High Prosecutor that you know today. Before I chose her as my successor, she was known as the nicest demon. What? Seriously? Seriously. Well, that explains a few things. Go on. For a long time, she wore that title with pride. But then she took the position of High Prosecutor. Everything changed after that. Her old title became something of a hindrance for her? How could demons and sinners respect someone who is... Oh, her old title became something of a hindrance for her. How could demons and sinners respect someone who is well known for being nice? Hell isn't a terribly kind place to those who are nice. So with my help, she did what she had to do. She killed the nice part of herself. She killed the nice part of herself? In a way. Rather, and I'm ashamed now to admit that this was primarily my idea, she suppressed her true nature in favor of a totally new persona, a facade that she wears whenever the situation demands that she must be the high prosecutor of hell. Aw. But, while at first Judgment was able to switch between these two images of herself, soon the high prosecutor side took over completely, and we never got to see the kind demon we once knew surface again. I fear that maybe she's gotten so deep into this other personality of hers that she can no longer snap out of it. Perhaps she's just afraid that nobody will accept her old self. Oh. When I realized this, I mourned the friend I once knew and put forth effort to get to know the new Judgment instead. It's been an adjustment to say the least. But if what you said is true, Taker, maybe that part of her is not dead after all. Maybe the kind demon is still lurking around in there somewhere. Maybe. Thank you for telling me all this. There must be something I could do to help the situation. I truly hope there is, Taker. Because if I'm being honest with you, there is a part of me that misses that friend I used to have. Aww. 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 Oh, I like that. That's good. Aww. I like that. That's heartfelt. Those two dates right there, that was heartfelt, bro. That was heartfelt. I like that shit. I like that shit. Alright. Well, that was Helltaker Second Circle, the Helltaker dating sim. That was part 3. We only did 2 dates today. Technically 3. The Beelzebub one counts. You feel me? That Beelzebub one counts. Beelzebub, however you want to say it. Beel, Bell, however the fuck you want to say that shit. But yeah, for my people on Global Figure Live, y'all did enjoy this video. Y'all make sure to hit that like button, man. If y'all do enjoy this video, subscribe if you enjoy the content that I give to you, and share this video with literally anybody. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all make sure to come through the stream sometimes, man. We be lit over here. And yeah, I'll see y'all. Peace.